I've learned that it doesn't have to be scary.
It was scary to you to grow old?
Did you think it was scary?
Were you not worried about getting older ever?
We were part of the generation that thought at 30 you were old.
So you're just like, damn, these are bonus years.
Exactly.
Can we hype each other up real quick?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the Retirement House Podcast.
For those of you who don't know, we posted our first TikTok about just over a year ago, and we woke up the next morning to over 1 million views. And within 2 weeks, we had 1 million followers.
Since then, we've accumulated 4.5 million followers, 100 million likes across the social medias, and 500 million views.
Yes, it is quite a ride. We've been featured in the New York Times, New York Post, ABC News, Fox News, and so much more.
Our first day on set was also the first time we met one another. But since then, we've become a real family. Now, you might be wondering how this group got together in the first place.
Well, you're in luck. Our first two guests on the podcast are the creators of the Retirement House, and they cast us in this weird show. They write it, they direct it, they do all of this stuff. So I don't feel comfortable in welcoming them. I'll just say thank you for allowing me to be here.
Can you tell the people how all this entire thing came together? And am I a young person wearing an old person's makeup like they say in our questions and comments?
Yes, you are.
Trade secret.
Yeah. So what's up, everyone? My name's Adi. This is Brandon. We started the Retirement House, and wow, you guys are so much fun to be around. So this is the greatest project I've ever been a part of. So
Happy to be here.
Do we make you feel old?
Or
No.
do you make
Young.
us feel young?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, I think you guys give me energy. You guys make me feel young.
Somebody told me yesterday, I'm 28, I'm starting to get old. And I was like, you don't know what I've seen. And I was just with Galen recently, and she was like, I remember when I was 60 and I was like, I feel old, And I was just like, at 28, I'm like, shut up. I had no idea. What was the question again?
Can you tell the people how this entire thing came about?
Yes, I can. So I was doing TikTok marketing at this company called Flight House. I did it for a couple years. I've always had this dream of creating content. I loved making comedy videos when I was a kid. So there was always this thing kind of in the back of my head, but I went down a different path, which was the music business path. And then after a few years doing TikTok marketing, I was like, I just want to follow that dream and switch this up. So luckily, Flight House is a place that, encourages innovation and new ideas and stuff. So I went to my bosses and I was like, would I be able to switch up and doing something else? And yeah, just let us know. And so I kind of just sat for a few months, what should I do? I've never seen an ensemble on TikTok or a show. What would that be like? I didn't know if I should do influencers or what the cast should be. Cause there's other shows, that have a bunch of influencers in it. And it's not very great. Or so I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And there was one night where I was just up late at night and I was scrolling on TikTok and I see this grandma and she was doing all this and she was saying a pickup line. By the way, I don't even know if you guys know what this is, but it's I don't know, a guy trying to hit on a girl, whatever. So she's doing all that stuff and it had 3 million likes and I was it just kind of clicked in my head oh my God, what if the cast was all senior citizens? And so I was I feel this could work. And then Brandon joined the company and I kind of went to him first day because he was hired to create content out of the normal TikTok content that Flight House does right now, which is game show stuff. So I go to him first day, bring up this idea, and he just right away was yeah. So we started just working on it for a few months. And here we fucking are.
The rest
Here we
is
are.
history.
Yeah.
And did you ever know that you were going to find such fun-loving young old people?
I had no idea what I was getting myself into, honestly. I didn't think it would be like this. Like, I had no idea. So, no, I think is the answer.
How lucky you are.
So fucking lucky.
So lucky. We got the best group ever.
And it turned out much better than like we could have imagined, honestly.
Can you talk a little bit about the decision that went into renting that space where we auditioned?
Oh, the audition space, you mean?
Oh man, that's a good story. Okay, so for those that don't know, we had a second round of auditions. Well, actually, it was a chemistry read. It was the final round of auditions. We went through about 400 different virtual auditions. It was a rigorous process. We finally decided to meet these guys in person, and we rented a location. Yeah.
Rigorous but hilarious. Just seeing all these auditioning is funny.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes, we rented a location to do this audition at, and they didn't mention that to get to this location, you had to go up like 4 different elevators, climb a massive amount of stairs. By the time they got to the top, everyone was huffing and puffing, and then we're outside in the bright sun doing this audition process. It was awful, but thank you guys for being troopers about it.
It was like literally the worst place we could have chose for you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Especially us.
Yeah, like,
And nobody complained though. You guys did it. You guys did it. You made it work.
you
Well,
danced.
actually, I was wondering, since we went through like 3 different buildings before we finally reached the roof, so was this some kind of a test?
Look, I'll just say this: the ones that didn't go up there, like, aren't here today. So.
I bet the security cam footage was so funny from that day because they're just watching like all these seniors doing TikTok dances on the roof. They were just so confused.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I want you to go back because that was the second group that we initiated, but Eugene and I are from the very first group. So talk about that. I mean, on that very first day, we were only hired for 2 shoots. I thought that the young people would hate us, and instead, almost overnight, we were getting love letters.
When we came up with the idea and we're working on it, like, it was birthed from the theme of like, I want somebody that's my age that sees the video and sends it to their friends being like, this is us when we're older. And so it's funny you think like they would hate you, but it's like you guys are like this like glimpse of hope for us that like, oh, when we're old, or should I say more experience, not old.
Too late.
That we could still be fun. We had character ideas, and we went through like 300-400 submissions, like you mentioned, and then we did a few like Zoom auditions, and then we had an in-person audition where you guys came in to read, and we had like scripts and stuff because we knew we wanted to do sketches and stuff like that. Which is funny because the second audition, we already started it, so we knew what a typical day kind of looked like. So that's why the second day, we actually had you guys come and we all like kind of did some dances and stuff like that because we learned from the first one. We casted 4 people, and then season 2 came around and we were like, maybe like more people would be cooler and more fun, and I think we were totally right. So.
And by the way, the show that we originally set out to make, like I said before, was completely different. Eugene, or Chuck, I should say. Yeah, we're using their real names now, not their character names. That's something we wanted to mention on the show. You auditioned to be a retired porn star at the time.
That's why I knew it was a comedy.
Yes.
And that you wanted topless with an apron with cookies. So I went at my boss's office and shot it with a cookie tray and topless.
Yeah, that's the video.
Boss's office. Did anyone hear that?
Shirtless, holding a tray of cookies. And
got a raise after that.
Yeah. Have any of you guys seen Jersey Shore?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know what it is? Stick a bunch of people in a house and watch all the drama unfold. Mm-hmm. That was what we originally set out to make. It was all going to be scripted. We wrote like 20 scripts that were really, really raunchy. And we shot the first week with you guys, and after that decided to throw our original idea out the window.
Oh, how wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, because we started to see what it felt like to see you guys on screen, and it felt way better to see wholesome funny content from you instead of like raunchy stuff that is just low hanging fruit.
Yeah, which has changed, like, because that's just like what the perception is as a young person. You know, we're like being stereotypical with an old person. And now hanging out with you guys and like learning so much more, like I hate doing stuff like that, you know, because it's like I want to completely go away from that. And, you know, every time we kind of work with people that aren't in this, you know, they'll always, you know, pitch those same ideas of the stereotypical stuff. And that's what we just want to like, and that's the point of this show. That's the point of what we're doing, is like redefining, like, you know, the perception, honestly. So,
and yes, we do some raunchy jokes here and there, but it's nothing compared to what it was originally going to be.
No, I thank you for changing my character.
Yeah.
And the way you now you use us as people, as Chuck, as the character.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'm a step hipper, but not much hipper than Eugene. And I also did a show, Geriatric Shores, which is a takeoff on that.
Oh, nice. So it was
this-
already done
this-
before.
This is great. You've got great writing. And how do you come up with these ideas for sketches and so forth?
there's definitely different ways, obviously, but one is, you know, just in my life, like hanging out with friends or whatever, where like there's something funny that's said and we're all laughing and I just kind of write that on my notes. Or, you know, the All Due Respect sketch was, I was actually reading a comedy book and I was learning just about like, so it's like this book about 9 writers, they all have the same premise, like how do they build it out for like a show or a movie. And one of the guys kept saying, with all due respect, so they had interviews and they changed it into text. So I'm like reading this and he keeps saying with all due respect. So I was like, oh, that's funny. And so I like took that idea and then like made my whole, you know, wrote something else. And obviously we'll work together on it. You know, like what's bothering me right now on TikTok, obviously there's trends and stuff. So you see like inspiration come in either through trends or I don't know, anything that's going on the internet that we could take and be like, that's a funny thing, or how can we make that our own? And it's just sitting in a room and staring at the wall for many hours and talking out loud to myself and then also going in the room with Brandon and we just start throwing the ideas at the wall and things like that.
Yeah, it's always 1,000 terrible ideas and then you get one idea that you actually like Neighborhood Watch is one of my favorite sketches. That was me and Adia at the office just throwing a bunch of nonsense at the wall until finally something stuck that we liked and ran with it. So the process depends every time. Sometimes we write together, sometimes on our own.
So I
Doing
think
it
it's
works.
safe to say that we haven't done anything else really but Retirement House for a full year, don't you? I mean, we eat, sleep, and think about it almost all the time.
Story of my life.
Yeah, literally.
So, as visionaries, if you will,
Wow.
where do you see yourself, or where do you see this show taking you? Where is it going to land? Where do you want to do it?
Well, I hope we get a show like either I would love to do a sketch show. Like obviously we like writing comedy and shooting that and like, you know, not having the set, you know, the coffee shop not be the kitchen, but like we actually have a set that's in a coffee shop, or that would be so fun, you know. So I hope it goes in that direction. We're throwing ideas around, and who knows, in 5 years, what if it turns into an animated thing, you know?
Well, now you have to be careful with all those years you're throwing out there. Because when you add them to us.
That's true.
That's why I said animated.
That's the kind of comedy genius that makes us a success.
The future is not ours, guys.
It's theirs.
This is so unofficial, but we're like, what if it was like a type of SNL where it's like this like hub where like senior citizens that haven't broke through come through and make comedy sketches or whatever, and then
Right.
they become they get a lot more notoriety, obviously, because we've built a brand, and maybe that's a way that it could live for many, many years. But
Oh, I thought you was getting ready to say they come through, they do comedy, and then they die.
No, they go to retirement houses everywhere
The retirement house in the sky.
in the sky. Yes.
The retirement house in the sky.
You've become like grandsons to us.
Speak for yourself now. I cannot have a grandson that look like that.
Hey, there's adoption, you know.
Well, in essence, we're all adopting them, so you could, right?
Okay.
You're a Bubba. A Bubby.
Bubby.
You're a Bubby.
That's Bubby.
Right.
So you see, everybody is your grandchildren.
That's true.
That's the lens she looks through. Yeah.
All right, I'll say no more.
I think the thing that's going to keep us alive for a long, long time, my fingers are crossed, is the fact that we get together once a week or twice a week and we do nothing but laugh.
Right.
I think it's the
Very
healthiest thing you can possibly do to stay young.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love every Thursday when we get together. I always say it feels like we're kids again because we have this massive box of props, all these crazy outfits. It's like a day on the playground. And like I don't do any of that stuff with my friends, you know? Like everyone thinks they're way too cool for that. But we come here, our walls are down, we have fun, we're down to do whatever. So
Your friends would think you're strange, but here it's just normal.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But with that said, I think everyone needs a little retirement house in their life
Yes.
because it's a
No
lot of fun.
kidding.
And,
Yeah.
Our walls are down. I like that phrase.
Yes.
Brandon, you came to Flight House also, but what did you come to do? Certainly not this.
Yeah, well, retirement house was a very, very vague idea when I first got here. I was brought into the company to expand their content into new territory. They were doing all game show stuff on TikTok. And I was there for about 2 weeks. Adi was on vacation and he came back. The first day he was back, we met at one of the studios at the office. And from that very first conversation, Retirement House was born. And here we are today.
Love at first sight.
And I would like to add that Flight House CEO is a woman who gave you permission to do a really impossible type of idea and win.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ash Stahl is awesome. We pitched her on the idea. She bought into it right away. And thank God, because everyone else we went to with the idea thought it was like the wackiest thing they've ever heard. But she saw the vision. She believed in us. So thank you, Ash.
Also,
Yeah.
like we go to her like with so much. Like we would not be able to be here, you know, without like the stuff that we go to her with. She just always has an answer, and it's crazy.
She always lets you do what you want to do.
She's never really said no to us for the things, you know, as
Wow.
if it's in reason, you know, but also just like advice for like what should we do with this, or what are your take on this, or there's so many things that she's helping with that, you know, allows us to.
I find her very exciting. I really, really adore her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember before I met you, when I was on vacation, like you just mentioned, and I remember I was in Mexico, and I remember I was like smoking a cigar, which I'd never ever do, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, old people, like what do I gotta do with these people?
What have I got
With these old people.
Just like sitting there like this, like, damn, I hope it works out, you know, just waiting to get back. When the idea popped in my head, I was like, let me sit on this for a while to see if it's still good in like 2 or 3 months. And so when I was in Mexico, like I was still sitting there like, yeah, like I think this is the thing to do. You know?
Young man, you could have lost some actors.
What do you mean?
With that usage of time, that time, the months, you can't take our months away.
Well, I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
It did. I'm just joking. I don't know why.
We should actually, I don't think we mentioned like what your real names are and obviously your characters' names and stuff. So I feel like that would be a good thing for you guys to go around and say.
Well, I'm Galen Baker, and I created Mabel.
I'm Jerry Boyd, and I'm wondering why you named me Curtis.
I'm Chuck Lacey, and I became Eugene.
I'm Patty Eulish, and I am a Bubby.
I'm Aretha Gray, and I'm Rose. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm Rose.
And I'm Monterey Morrissey, and I'm Larry. I'm also been called Wholesome today, which I've never been called before.
Wholesome?
Wholesome,
Who
yes.
called you that?
Well, Brandon did. He said that we're wholesome, and I never.
I think you
never
guys
been
are.
called that.
You guys have your moments for sure. I think we like to say that that you guys are the grandparents of the internet. So I think a lot of people latch on to you guys.
Well,
and
thank you so
find
much.
inspiration and hope through you.
Do you
Yeah.
have any grandkids?
Myself? No. No, not yet. Well, not that I know of. And also, I inherited my character did, the background that I came from a family of male strippers, too, I recall. That's right. So,
Oh yeah.
When we're being interviewed, people ask me if how I ever created Mabel, and I say that Mabel has lived inside of me since I was a little bitty girl and gotten me in trouble with elementary teachers, high school teachers, my mom, everybody, all my life. I love Mabel. She's really the best to me.
well, I think that's what Retirement House has really done for all of us. It's given our, what they used to call our inner child to have permission to come out. And I think we're all have been expressing that in one way or another.
Yeah.
Come out and play.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get mine
Come
back
a little
in.
closer.
Gotcha.
I think that's what is like resonating too, is like people are like seeing that the way that the videos come out, and it's like, yeah, they could be silly and things like that. And they're like, oh, you never really do kind of grow up, you know? And I feel like that's making everyone think differently, you know, about growing old, which is the best part about this whole thing.
That's right.
I mean, when you come in, and I mean, praise God, I'm glad his wife is okay, but he was absent, and I'm told that I'm going to replace him in the story about the shrimp.
Yes.
Boy, that was really a challenge. My inner self was cursing you the whole day. Said, give me this thing, and I'm over there, and I'm trying to, oh, God, what are we doing here? And I keep saying, it ain't coming out right. I didn't find it. I got to find it. I never did find it. I think he settled.
No. You came out. You shook those shrimps.
Yes.
You shook the shit out of those shrimps.
Yeah, I'm sitting there shaking two crawdads or whatever it is. Crawfish?
Crawfish.
Yeah, they're talking to each other. And I got one that, and the other that. And then they got the smooches.
Oh, that's right. All the smooching sounds.
Yeah, he was going in.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, somehow I knew they were going to pick you to do that for me, and I really appreciate you.
Right.
You know, hitting for me there. I could just imagine when they were both drowning. I could just imagine you going, "Whoa!"
His cheeks.
Yes.
I bet
they become gels
I
at
bet
that
you
point.
read that script and just made up a reason I should be here that day.
Maybe.
That's what I think. No, I'm joking. Of
Me
course.
too. I really was looking forward to that skit.
The sketches are wonderful. You know, I prefer the sketches to the dances and so forth. And I write comedy, but you guys are great, write great sketches. Before my audition, I never even heard of TikTok, but I'm now blown away by the numbers of views. Sometimes it's like, why would they watch a guy dancing like? But it works. So what other elements do you incorporate into these videos to make them perform so well? What else do you do?
There's a bunch of different factors. Like for the comedy sketches, for example, I mean, we're still figuring it out, but you have 3 seconds before people are out. And even looking at the analytics sometimes, like in 1 second, like 40% like drops off sometimes. Like it really matters like how it starts off. So, you know, in a sketch, like we'll want to have like a good hook. You know, like when you in the All Due Respect one, you were spitting the coffee out right in the beginning. Like when you scroll and you see that right away, you might want to stay for that second. And then we try to bring some kind of conflict in like right away. Lately, we've been like incorporating more like faster cuts. So if like it's sitting on you in a shot and you have kind of a longer sentence, like there might be like within that one sentence, like 3 cuts of like kind of getting a little closer to your face. Just like the attention spans are like insane on TikTok. So trying to like, you know, like feed that like, oh, this is satisfying because it's like fucking going so quick, you know, like, so those are like some of the things that like we're looking for. Obviously, jokes, you know, in there. Like we've done stuff where, yeah, there's a conflict right in the beginning and it kind of followed all those things, but maybe there weren't that many jokes. So like it wasn't, I don't know, like for some reason that video didn't perform as well or whatever. So those are kind of the things we're like really looking for in like a sketch. You know, like a good ending that's funny. You know, sometimes it's like callbacks where something happens early in the sketch and at the end, you know, we kind of bring it up like the ghost reappeared at the end of that one sketch. With the TikTok trends, yeah, it could be like a trending sound that you want to use. We try to be like, even if we're going on a trend, I, for the most part, would like to figure out, like, how do I make this our own and make it way more creative and something that when people are watching, they're like, I got to see that again. Like, what the hell just happened? Or there's some of the ones where you guys are holding the signs. Like, people have to watch it a few times to even see what the sign said. So there's like little things like that we're trying to like put in there. Or like, if you remember the How to Holla sketch, the long version, you guys are holding cups. I think you guys had water in them, but you had a banana in your cup. And people were just commenting like, why is there a banana in his cup? You know? And so like that just brought engagement, you know, and it's silly, but those are like little things we try to do to like make those perform, you know, better.
Also calling out certain celebrities. We've gotten attention from the Liver King, Jake Paul, Emily Ratajkowski, Jack Harlow, you know, so just planting little things to intentionally get their attention, because once they get in on the mix, then, you know, the attention follows. So just trying to keep it relevant in culture.
Well, we think that you guys are real geniuses. We really do.
Definitely.
It's a big word.
Yeah, it is a big word, but
But what do you think made our audience so 3-second long or 17-second long that they have no patience for anything longer than that? I even have become that way. I started scrolling through TikTok, and if one of them talks too long, I just move on to the next.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're in the young crowd now. You're in the young crowd. You're the young people.
But that's what keeps you young. You gotta act
I don't know.
immature.
I think scrolling on social media is aging me.
I agree with that.
Mushing my brain.
I agree with that. But I think it's just the nature of TikTok. Like when you're on there, you're specifically going to watch short, funny videos, quick dopamine hit. If you go to something like YouTube, it's easy to digest like a 15 to 20 minute video or an entire hour-long podcast, because that's what you agreed to do when you sat and opened up the app. But with TikTok, it's just a different thing. So for us, it's just about figuring out what content is going to work for each platform. And that's why we're trying to break into YouTube now and show people a deeper side of you guys, because you can't really see your personalities through 8-second TikTok trends. But we want people to experience the magic that Adi and I do every Thursday with you guys.
Lots of magic.
Oh, you're too sweet.
What do you think prepared you to do this type of material? Did you major in sociology, or did you go to film school, or you have a psychiatry background?
I think we're a perfect mix, because I went to film school. I have a film background. Adi has a background in TikTok marketing and making things go viral. So between the two of us, it was like the perfect match to take this thing to the next level and make sure that it worked from the first day out the gate.
Yeah, the TikTok marketing was a huge thing, and just understanding the platform and like just social content. But I think it was also just the like many hours of like making sketches with my friends, and like my friends were DJs in college, and I was like making content for them, and I had another friend that was a DJ, and we would make skits and just like editing all that stuff, making all those videos, and over the years, and I feel like that just like obviously prepared for like, all right, like I can edit these things, we can write these things. I took like video production and stuff like that in high school. So all that with, you know, the viral marketing stuff I was doing. And then, you know, I didn't know shit about lighting, like until like I'm with this guy, and like I could see how big of a difference it is.
What a big difference. Lighting is such a big
Absolutely.
difference.
And shout out to our lighting team. Yeah, it just like helps make the videos that much better. And, you know, when we're filming sketches, and, you know, Brandon has that background, like, you know, just the way how to film it, where to place you guys in the video. Like I learned so much from him. So
Also, funny story, I directed a music video for the song Make You Mine, which at one point I think was the #1 song on TikTok or something. And this was like years ago. And a D brought a bunch of influencers to the set, and he was on set. We were in the same room. I don't think we said anything to each other that day, but fast forward years later, we're still doing that same like
how
sort of
wild.
collaboration where
That's
he's bringing his
wild.
TikTok background and I'm with the film stuff. So yeah, it was meant to be.
I think I remember like seeing him because when I met him, I'm like, he kind of looks familiar. I don't know where he's from, but yeah.
That was a crazy shoot. I probably looked like an insane person. There was like 50 people
You were
there. It was a
all-
party scene.
going
It was
all over the
nuts. Yeah. We had a lot to film with very little budget.
How did you find out that you were both in the same room?
I think I was just talking about some of the work that I had done and brought it up, and then you said, "Oh, no way. I remember I brought a bunch of my influencer connections there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I speak for everybody when I say that it's just been an enormous blessing building a bridge that has really hit a nerve in this country about aging but not getting old and being incredibly creative when you're very young, because sometimes when you're very young, you don't get the opportunity that you two have had. So how lucky are we,
Yeah.
all of us?
I think the population in general is putting more effort into satisfying elderly people in unconventional ways. They're no longer making us old. They're doing all kinds of young things for us to keep us active and thinking and laughing and being productive. And this wasn't so a decade ago even.
Right. Yeah. That's something we talked about a lot. We always knew that seniors were getting left out of the spotlight, and we wanted to shine a light on you guys and show that you had so much to offer. Actually, when we did our first round of auditions, people were coming in and they were thanking us on their way out because this was one of the first things they auditioned for in a long time that gave them the opportunity to be the star of the show.
What is next for Retirement House?
The podcast is something that we hope becomes a completely new avenue because I feel like, well, I know that you guys have a lot to share with the world, and there's nothing really like that. There's nothing like this out there. So that's one thing. You know, I kind of mentioned the sketch show. That's definitely like the dream goal, that we can all be on a show with a bigger set. Who knows? Maybe the right move is streaming if somebody picks it up. Maybe it's just brands are sponsoring and we can just do it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Whatever is kind of just keeping this thing going. And there's been production companies reaching out for potential more reality-based television. Maybe the animation. Who knows down the road? But definitely just the dream is, and I'm manifesting this, is a proper sketch show.
Yes.
And let's hope that it's not retirement. Retirement House does not want to retire.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if the housewives can do it, you two guys can do
Yeah,
it.
no kidding.
Yeah,
There you go.
I actually, right outside of my apartment or on my apartment building is this massive advertisement for the new Kardashians show. And every time I see it, I think of you guys and I think I'm going to make these guys like the new Kardashians. People are going to look up to them. They're going to be inspired by them. They're going to, yeah.
Oh, we're better.
Better, yeah.
If you go on Sunset and Vine, there's that's where the billboard is, and it's massive. And it would just be so funny if it was you guys that big in like suits or whatever.
And it will be. It will be. There's a big billboard I can see from my bedroom window when I'm sitting in my bed. And my goal is to have a retirement house billboard right there.
That's
You have any idea what they cost?
I don't know. It's not coming out of my budget.
whatever it is.
When we
we're
get
worth
picked up
it.
for that TV show, they'll pay
Yeah,
for
Let's
it.
have Hulu
we'll be
do it.
making that kind of money.
Yeah.
Hulu will deal with
I
that.
was thinking about making a dream come true here.
That's right.
I mean, there are
taking
certain
up a
clubs you
collection?
go in and they say, make it rain. I'm trying to make it rain.
Hulu,
Yeah.
if you're listening.
What have you learned about aging after being around us so much?
I've learned that it doesn't have to be scary. I think you guys really do inspire.
It was scary to you to go.
Did you think it was scary?
No, I know what he means, but it just sounds funny.
Were you not scared were you not worried about getting older ever?
Me?
Yeah.
Never.
We were part of the generation that thought at 30 you were old.
Yeah.
So
So you're just like, damn, these are bonus years.
exactly.
Well, you know what?
Playing overtime.
Seriously, I have not a thought in my mind. I don't have any kids, so I don't know how old I am. That's maybe why I act so silly. I don't even deal with it. I see some of these young guys, sometimes they're all buff, they run by me, right? And I go, that was the day. Kind of.
Let me tell you, having kids does not change a thing. I feel just as young as I did at 20.
But
Well, yeah,
I do
but
too.
No, but I'm saying, you got something standing here that's 44. That's going to tell you.
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well,
Whether or not you have kids or not, it doesn't matter a
That's
damn.
delusional.
I think
Delusional. Delusional.
How can you ignore something?
Well, that's about all the time we have.
How can you ignore something that's standing there 6'7" and 48? And you're going, whoa.
You don't ignore it, but it doesn't have
How
any
old am I?
effect on
But it
how
begs
old
the
you
question.
feel.
No, I'm not talking about how you feel.
I-
Get what I'm
We'll
saying.
get you in, Bubby.
I'm
We'll get
saying
you in. I know.
It barometizes you. It gives you year by year by
And
year
I'm
by blow by
saying
blow.
that
Jerry,
you're wrong.
Jerry, since you don't have children, you cannot judge that.
That's right.
That's true.
I'm not judging anything.
I know
Yeah, you are.
listen.
You're judging us as
Shut
old
up,
people.
old folk, and listen to me. Get it before you run. Get it before you run. Get it.
Welcome to Retirement House.
understand
You
what
did
you're
not
saying.
get it.
No.
You did not get it.
You're wrong.
No, we had,
Okay,
we had,
enough coffee.
We
I
had children.
originated the idea, so she's
all right.
telling me I'm wrong.
No, we're not saying that you're wrong. We're saying you cannot judge it because
I
you
didn't
don't
try
have
to judge
children.
anything.
You're judging it by if you have children, then
No,
you have a
no, that's
you
not
have
a
a
judgment.
yard.
That's not a judgment. I'm saying that for me, knowing me in this life and the things that I've gone through, okay? If something 47 is standing up there in front of me, I'm going to think, oh, jeez.
Well, that's
Oh,
you.
Okay,
That's me. That's me. Leave it alone.
You
okay,
can do
that's
that.
it. That's good on that. Bubby.
No, I don't know how you can be worried about growing old. You two are building such a firm foundation for your futures that you should just live it and love it.
Yeah, being here keeps you young, even though the comments is that a young guy with old age makeup, and I don't wear makeup. That just tells you, okay, I'm old, but doesn't feel like it. Come here, have
Yeah,
fun.
right.
So
I don't feel
I am
old.
71, but
But that's what we're learning, you know. Like
I get that
that's what
off.
I'm saying. Like, well, so I don't like my grandparents were in Israel, so like I didn't really spend much time with them, you know. So like I don't have that perspective, you know. You're like I'm like, do you feel old? Like, what's going on in your heads? Like I have no idea. Like I do know. I kind of understand because like I feel like I'm still like 18.
See, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You are not concerning yourself about aging, but you're seeing that grandmother and you're going, something goes on.
It's definitely like, but you guys are shattering that. Like I can say that from being with you guys. It's like shattered that thought. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's like not having children, not having anything that's gonna age. If you're not paying attention, you miss a lot of years. You wake up, and it's 1999, and they're talking about Y2K. And you go, Jesus.
It was all the drugs in the 70s and 80s.
I was just in the Army. In the Navy.
Uh-oh.
I just got out. And it's 2000. Oh, God, the prison doors are going to unlock. I mean, things like this. I go back to that. There's nothing to tie me anywhere along those lines like a child would. The birth of a child. You know, you could use deaths, I guess, the death of a mother, stuff like that, you know, but that doesn't keep moving. A child keeps growing. The age keeps going up and up and up and up, pushing you higher, higher, higher. That's all I was trying to say.
No,
I see what
no,
you're
no.
saying. I
You
just
d-
don't have their
we
perspective.
see-
You know, like-
Yeah.
You,
You see
you
what
don't,
I'm
you
saying?
don't have to go. You don't have
Redwood.
to grow
Don't tell
old
anybody.
watching
I
them.
didn't say that.
Yeah,
I said
no,
a
but
child pushes you
But you could be having fun with that child the whole
I'm having
time.
fun. All I'm saying is that the child, when the child grows old, you keep going up and up and up and up. No matter how much fun you're having, you're still going up, 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 and up.
And
Wait,
there
all I'm saying.
is this the
And
reason you have
audience-
not had children?
Huh?
Is this the reason you have not had children?
What do you mean? Is this the reason I've not?
Because if you had children, you would feel pushed up, up, and up.
Oh, I had nothing to do with the biological aspects of that. I don't.
Wait,
have,
let me explain to you how it works. You have something to
The
do
birds
with
or the bees. Okay.
No, I mean when the semen met the seed, then something happened. But,
Sorry, folks.
my semen has met a lot of seed, and they said goodbye. They said goodbye to each other. I don't have to.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, closing the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us here, because
Chilla.
Thanks for having
I
us.
just want to say that we love you too.
we love you.
We love you guys. We love you way
We
more.
love you all.
We'd be nothing without
Wait a
you.
minute, wait a minute. The script says, yeah, we love you very much.
And the check is in the mail.
Hit that subscribe button. Wait till you see the guest that we have next week. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.